Okay, well, thank you very much. Kumusta kayo po, mga kababayan ko po dito sa Malaysia? Ang mga friends ko, Malaysians, kababayan ko po dito sa Malaysia, sa Kuala Lumpur, sa Kota Kinabalu, or sa Sabah is Malaysia pa natin ngayon. Ang Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. And today, it's August 13. August 13 na po. And sana lang po, okay na okay ang buhay natin. Nag-umpisa tayo ang araw na Wednesday. Wednesday, middle of the working week. Sana nag-umpisa tayo Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, hanggang Friday po. Maganda ang buhay natin sa linggo na ito. Sa linggo na ito. Overseas Filipino workers, kumusta kayo? And kababayan ko dyan sa Pilipinas, kumusta kayo? Kumusta tayo? And hope everything is running smoothly. Ito po si Nico Fabian, once again, nandito sa programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Ngayon po, nandito tayo sa Kuala Lumpur, sa West Malaysia. I will be touching a little bit on the issue ng budget ng Pilipinas. Ang national budget natin ng 2026 po, no? Budget, and they're going to start to deliberate it po. Starting today, nagsabit na po sa House of Representatives, and this will be the start of the budget deliberation month. It is something like 6 point something trillion. 6 point something trillion po ang budget, proposed budget. National Expenditure Plan. They call it the National Expenditure Plan, or NEP, by the executive, by the president. And according to reports, ang presidente natin, si President Bongbong Marcos Jr., already saw the NEP and already submitted. Today, it was submitted to the House of Representatives, if I am not mistaken. And from then onwards, sa lahat itong mga departments natin po, we are going to see ang congressman, ang senador natin po will be scrutinizing po. And mga different departments natin, government departments natin, especially ang education, ang public works and highway po, no? Lahat yan po, even ang security forces natin, they had to justify ang budget nila that they are asking for 2026. Huwag natin kalimutan po, ang mga Filipinos, we still want to know what happened. What happened to the 20 or national budget ng 2025? Mahirap na po tayo, mag-start na naman tayo ulit sa 2026. And mahirap naman magsabi na kalimutan na tayo ang 2025 kasi mas importante ang 2026. No po, I disagree. What the Filipino wants, no? That includes me. We want to know what happened to this very controversial 2025 national budget po of the presidency of President Bongbong Marcos. Dahil because of the most, according to many, they describe the 2025 national budget as the most corrupt national budget of the Philippines po. The most corrupt po dahil ang dami, a lot of insertions po, and the authorities concerns, our lawmakers, some of them were surprised and they confirmed that they are not aware. Only few people, only few individuals agreed for the huge amount of insertion and transferring of funds from one department to the other department, which many believes that it was unconstitutional. It is it's not correct for the BICAM to approve such a budget po, wherein ang dami po question. Mayroon po mga blanco po, no? Black items po. When it was discovered, nagiging big issue yun. But anyway, sige, what we want is, okay, let us know, the Congress, the Senate. Let us know after before making any decision. We would like to know whether they can explain us what happened, what really happened dyan po sa 2025 national budget. Although the case is already up there po sa Supreme Council. But of course, let's be very careful po. Let us monitor every step of the authorities concerned, ang mga lawmakers natin po, when they start deliberating, when they start questioning the various departments for the budget they are requesting for the year 2026 po. Sana it will be transparent. It will be transparent. Dahil po, all these problems po, ang taong bayan, we, the Filipinos, suffered po. We suffered a lot when it comes to ang deserved benefits, infrastructures, facilities that we deserve to have because the budget is based on the taxpayers' money. This is the money of the people. This is the money of the people. It's not the money of the Marcoses. It's not the money of the sabihin natin politicians or a congressman and speaker. No. This is people's money po. That's why we want accountability, transparency, and all these things po. And we hope that it will not happen again po as what happened during the 2025 national budget. And of course, again, I would like to repeat, the government, the administration of the Marcos, ni Bongbong Marcos, please explain to us po, ano talaga nangyari. Ang dating chairman ng appropriation committee ng House of Representatives, si Congressman Saldico, please explain to us what really happened. We want to know. Please, we want to know. Alright? And let's pray that they're going to do that. Anyway, ang topic natin ngayon po is about corruption kasi nandyan na po. It was officially announced and officially launched the sumbong sa Pangulo ba yun? Ang website ni President Bongbong Marcos po. And if you want to know something about the 2026 budget, according to the Marcos administration or according to our President Bongbong Marcos, all you have to do is go and open up the website. Ano bang title ng website? Sumbong sa Pangulo, something like that. You just check po. And there everything will be exposed to the public. So we can know the details more. But still, marami pang doubts ngayon po. Marami pang doubts whether totoo ba ito may accountability. We can see and we can suggest. We can suggest to the government in the event may mga questions tayo, sabi ni President Bongbong Marcos, if we have doubts, please write to him because personally, he will read our messages po dyan po sa website. Corruption, bottom line is corruption po. Sino ba mga involved dyan sa, we have a lot of projects now questionable. It's a big question. Projects that are ghost projects that lawmakers allegedly asking for SOP, kickbacks and all these things po, unfinished projects po, projects halfway, projects not operational despite that the government paying full amount to the contractors who are involved in these corruption cases dyan po sa mga development projects, flash flood, flood mitigation programs natin po, projects sa Pilipinas po. Until now, the Philippines is still suffering. They're still suffering the flash flood effects. Mga effects ng flash flood natin po dahil these development projects, like the flood mitigation projects natin po, salita lang po, it never several of them were never completed. Some were ghost project, the worst thing. And who are involved? Allegedly, congressmen, relatives of Congress, immediate family, members of our lawmakers are part of the awarded contractors. Pangit yan po, no? Pangit yan. But anyway, let's see. As what I said, we are going to closely monitor the situation dyan po sa Pilipinas. We will continue, no? Now that we are going to see the deliberation questioning of the suggested or proposed budget of every department dyan po sa Pilipinas. Though it will comprise, at the end of the day, we are going to have the GAA or the Approved General Appropriation Act, ang budget ng Pilipinas po. Anyway, what I'm going to show to you now, nandito ako sa Kuala Lumpur, no? And I'll be busy later on. I won't stay long sa vlogging natin. But anyway, I thought it wise and I thought it very necessary for me to share itong video clip natin po, which I prepared. Dalawa ito, no? 2 video clip. One is the interview of our President, si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, wherein the local media in the Philippines raised questions kay President Bongbong Marcos, different issues po, no? Different issues, and from his answer, you will be enlightened of what is happening dyan po sa Pilipinas when it comes to the projects of the Marcos administration. On my second video clip that I want to share with you po, now this also involved our Vice President, si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte po, wherein still Davao City is celebrating a very colorful, exciting, merry-making festival dyan po sa Davao. I was made to understand this is a month-long celebration. And the other day, while she attended the merry-making event or occasion, ang celebration po, by chance, the local media in Davao managed to interview her on several issues. So, it is my intention now to share with you or a portion of the interview of President Bongbong Marcos, and of course, the other video clip is the interview of Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Alright, to start with, nandito po, let me share with you the video clip. I hope you like it po. And I hope you will be enlightened. Enlightened po of the latest updates regarding the activities dyan sa Pilipinas. Let's welcome President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos. Hold on, ha? Sandali. Alright, you hold on. Welcome na tayo. Tapos, hindi pa pala ready, no? Anyway, hold on. It's here.
Mr. President, Mr. Ramon is offering to solve the flood problem in the National Capital Region. What is your take on this? Thank you. What else can you say? You know, this is why we have, this is the reason why from the very beginning I always said the private sector needs to be part of everything of our national development. Hindi pwede ganun. Now, yung proposal ni Ramon is also certainly very welcome because we've seen his projects. Maganda naman ang mga naging resulta. He's able to bring it in on time. And, the man is an engineer, so I'm sure pinag-aralan niya ng mabuti yan. He's actually given me already this briefing before. And, however, there is still another side to his proposal. And the other side of his proposal, I will fix the flooding problem. I will seal the areas here in Metro Manila anyway. But the mayors, the LGUs have to take care of the garbage problem. It simply doesn't work until we have a solution to the garbage problem. We have a proposal for waste to energy solution in Manila, city of Manila. So baka naman, so that, I think that will go on, but that's only for Manila. So, itutuloy natin, titingnan natin kung magandang lumabas doon. And if that's the case, then that's what we will do with other parts of, at least Metro Manila sa una or the other urban areas na napapaha. So, again, anybody who wants to help, it's a welcome offer. Yes.
So, sir, just a quick follow-up. So, yung proposal po ni Senator Panfilo Lacson na itaktin yung ibang mga bilyonaryo sa bansa, welcome din po sa inyo.
Siyempre, you know, you don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Kung handa silang tumulong. And this is not anything new. The so-called taipans of the country, pagka meron tayong gustong gawin, nag-offer talaga sila. Kaya marami silang naitutulong. So I will certainly look to adapt this proposal of Ramon very, very closely and see if we can do it. It is, like I said, it will require the coordination between LGUs and I guess San Miguel, whatever it is, what part it is that they want to play. Pero nagdi-desilt na siya. Pasig River, dinidesilt na niya. So alam niya talaga yun. So anyway, that's something that that's very welcome, as I said. Any offers of help are always welcome.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. President. Thank you. Thank you. Sir, the next question will come from Ana Felicia, GMA News Online.
Good morning, Mr. President. Sir, Senator Tulfo mentioned earlier na isang undersecretary ng DPWH yung reportedly nasibak dahil po dito sa anomalous flood control. Is this confirmed, Mr. President? And sino-sino pa po kaya yung involved dito sa corrupt flood projects po? If we can name them, Mr. President.
Now, we just open the website. No, I need to hear from other people because anong makukuha kong report? Makukuha akong report sa kung sino man, maganda lahat. So, I need to hear from people first. And then, if there is really something na kailangan sasabihin talaga ito consistent, ang dami nilang pinag-kinsing yung project nila, puro palpak. Delikado na yan, pitignan na namin. But we don't have that yet. We haven't conducted it. If you remember, the DepDev is going to now go into all of that. Pero parallel effort yan. Sa gobyerno at saka sa taong bayan. Importante yung kontribusyon ng taong bayan. Napakahalaga. Dahil kami, nandito kami, pinag-usapan nga natin, 9,000 projects na siyempre, didetalye namin yan, isa-isayin namin yan. Pero ang tao, nandun sa harap nila. Pag-gising nila sa umaga, maglalakad lang sila ng kalahating kilometro, nandiyan na, nakita na nila. So, that's maybe more important. Kaya we have encouraged the way we put the website together. Kahit may picture, may video. I-upload ninyo sa amin para makita namin. Kasi meron kami yung mga malalaking analysis, yung mga satellite nga, pati yung mga report. Pero iba na rin yung nakikita mo, sasabihin dito nasira dito pumasok yung tubig. Nung bumagsak, nung bumigay ito, wala na, binaha na kami lahat. So, that's why we are encouraging to go, we are asking people to help us and to help themselves. Dahil kung maayos natin ito, hindi na sila papahin. At least not as badly as they are now.
Sir, quick follow-up lang po. Doon po sa 15 contractors na nakita natin, meron po bang link sa mga government officials, especially po sa mga congressmen na nakaupo, sir?
Wala na pa talaga tayong investigative journalist ngayon dito sa Pilipinas. Trabaho niya yan. Look it up. We're going to look at it also. But it will be premature for me to name names, etc. until we really know what's going on. But, go out there. Tignan ninyo. Talk to the people. We need to hear from everyone. And that's I think something that we can all play a part in. I know that once this comes out, that kung ano-ano mga papasok na reklamo, kung minsan justified, kung minsan hindi, dahil may alitan for political or whatever, natalo sa kontrata, the usual thing. But we'll still go through every single one, and we still have to see what really is viable, what really is credible, and what needs to be acted upon. So let's also be fair to everyone. And not say, ito si ganito, ito si ganyan, ito si ganyan, tanggal ka sa trabaho. Unless we have a good idea of what went wrong.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next question from Evelyn Quiroz from Filipino Mirror.
Good morning, Mr. President. Ito pong presentation niyo na website, ito po yung base na po ito sa inventory na sinadmit po ng DPWH.
Yes.
Apo. Sir, bali dun po sa presentation niyo, yung may a total cost of 545 billion. And 350 po dun is almost 50%. Pwede po ba natin makonsider yun na ghost projects?
No.
Or hindi naman po?
We're just starting this process. Remember, we haven't, DepDev is already working on it. Public Works is already working on it. My office is already working on it. But if I'm to stand up here and then malisig ganito, tapos mali, that's not fair. So let's be circumspect about pointing fingers and shouting at people. Tignan natin na mabuti. Because always remember, the assumption, kasi masama ng ba na tao eh. So the assumption is, lahat yan walang kwenta. Hindi totoo naman yun. Meron din maganda. Meron din ang buo. Meron naman ang nakatulong. So, pero hanapin natin yung hindi maganda, yung hindi nabuo, yung hindi nakatulong, at kung saan napunta yung pondo para doon sa ganung klaseng project. Kung sasabihin natin, it's also possible that palpak yung flood control project dahil climate change na eh. Sa buong kasaysayan ng lugar na yun, hindi pa binaha. Nangyayari sa amin yan eh. Hindi pa binaha. Ngayon lamang binaha dahil ganyan na yung climate change na iba. Ang lakas ng bagsak ng ulan. So, kaya na-overwhelm yung flood control. Wala naman nagnakaw, pero yung specification natin doon sa flood control na yan ay para doon sa pre-climate change na sitwasyon. So, we have to be careful about this. Of course, we want to get to the bottom. Of course, we want the people who have taken advantage of the system to pay and to be answerable to the shortcomings that has been demonstrated. And if there is evidence of corruption, then of embezzlement of any kind of wrongdoing, that's when we will move. But again, we cannot do all of this without the help of the ordinary citizen. We need the citizen to play their part, their civic duty, to report to the government what they see as being wrong. So let's be, as I say, circumspect and maayos yung ating pasok dito. Hindi yung para-para na, mahala na. What the expression in English is throwing the baby out together with the bathwater. Diba? You choose. You make sure that you're on good ground.
Alright, that's it po. Narinig natin na si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos po. Sana lang po, totoo na ito, ha? Totoo na ito po, no? And he mentioned something about challenging sa local media. Wala naman tayong, sabi niya, wala naman tayong investigative reporters or journalists po. Ang dami po. Ang problema lang po, we are thinking twice before doing this investigative reporting dahil po apparently if somebody will not like your reporting po, they will say it is fake news, and worst thing po, something will happen to you po, may mga ebidensya na yan po, no? Once they don't like you, they will be filing cases against you and create you a lot of problems po sa buhay ninyo po. Now, you want the journalists to come up and investigate. We can do that. But the problem is, we will do our part. The government also will do their part. Play it safe. Be safe. Fair to everybody. No? Hindi lang once they don't like this kind of a news, then they will create a lot of problems on the part of the media. Nangyari na yan po. May mga libel na, fake news na, and then as you to go to the Quadcom, Tricom committee po, no? Which is, mahirap na po. Sana lang, again, sana lang po, what Bongbong Marcos is saying now, or promising po, sana lang po, totoo na ito. Sana all, totoo na ito po. Totoo na ito po. And yes, I think I saw one comment or observation dyan po sa social media at saka sa mainstream media po, sa mga reports nila po, na they were saying about paano yan, na a lot of people knows who are these people involved, ang mga lawmakers po. In fact, na-mention si President Bongbong Marcos, 15 contractors nationwide. And of the 5, mayroon, of the 15, mayroon yung top 5 po. And that top 5, I suppose even the President knows kung sino-sino yan po. No? No need for the public to, inform the President dyan po sa website. In fact, I was expecting the President will reveal the names of these people. Yung 5, no? Yung 5. So, dapat na po, I hope everything is seryoso na po ang mga authorities natin dyan sa Pilipinas when it comes to addressing itong corruption cases natin po. Pwede tayo mag-start, no? Everybody knows from day 1, from 2022 hanggang 2025 po. Alam natin po kung sino involved sa corruption dyan po sa mga politicians natin po, elected politicians. We know, everybody knows kung sino ang number 1. Sino ang number 1? Mag-umpisa dyan sa itaas. Kung sino po. And I don't think so that the President, si President Ferdinand Marcos, hanggang ngayon hindi niya alam kung sino yon. Sino yon? Who is maneuvering ang national budget natin? Sino who is trying to do something para at this for personal benefit po? I don't think so the President doesn't know. He knows po, no? He knows. Mga relatives, mga kaibigan, close friends po. I think he knows. So, I hope one of these days, the President will finally, without fear and favor, will come out openly and say, alam niyo, itong mga tao, ito, pamangkin ko, ito, relative ko, ito, kaibigan ko, dito si Tarpulano, I want them to be out because involved siya sa corruption po. Itong amount involved siya, no? By the billions. So, being the President, I want, although it's already late, but better late than never. Gusto ko po, bago I'm going to step down as the President of the Philippines on 2028, I want to leave a very good legacy. Ang Marcos legacy po. Kaya walang kaibigan, walang relatives po dito sa administrasyon ko po. I hate corruption. And I am serious, sincere, committed. With this remaining 3 more years sa akin po, I will make sure that I'm going to, hindi ba, sabi niya, heads will be rolling. Heads will be rolling, sabi ni President Bongbong Marcos during the SONA, State of the Nation Address last month po. Sana lang po, totoo na ito po. Para magbago ng buhay ng bayan natin po. Magbago ng buhay ng mga Pilipino natin po. Mga kababayan, no? Mga kababayan. Sana lang po. So, I will closely monitor itong situation. Okay, this time around po, hindi na tayo magtagal. This time around po, I want to share with you also another video clip, interview ni Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Ang dami din po mga issues. But before I give you ang clip ni Inday Sara Duterte, let me, for the last time, let me share with you another portion of President Bongbong Marcos po during the interview just recently.
And the regional, they will look at all of this. That's why what the DepDep, for example, can do. For those who are not up to, DepDep is what NEDA used to be. We just renamed it. So it's now called the Department of Development. So anyway, ang gagawin naman ng DepDep, titignan niyo yung papel and see what happened, where it went. Tapos yung mga really very, very problematic areas, siguro papupuntahan nila. But how many areas can they go to? We were talking about 9,000 projects. Hindi nila mapupuntahan lahat. Kaya para sa akin, napakahalaga ang kontribusyon at ang mga komento, ang mga reklamo, ang mga video, mga picture na ipapadala sa atin ng taong bayan. This will not work. This whole process will not work unless people are involved. It is not going to be enough if only government is involved, if only DepDep is involved, if only public works is involved, if only the office of the president is involved. We need everyone involved because, I don't know, 80 million, 90 million pairs of eyes are better than all the eyes in the entirety of government. So, again, let me stress that it is exceedingly important that people get involved. So, lahat ng hinahin ninyo, masama loob ninyo, yung nagre-reklamo kayo, frustrated kayo, dahil nakikita ninyo, wala namang kayo malapitan. Ito na yung chance ninyo. Meron na tayong website. Ang isusulat ninyo doon sa report, yung tinatawag yung sa report, ang isusulat ninyo doon sa report, ako mismo ang babasa. Yan ang asahan ninyo. Babasahin ko bawat isa.
Alright, narinig natin po si President Bongbong Marcos, babasahin ko bawat isa. Yon ang promesa niya po. No? To read is one thing, to act is another thing. Another thing. Huh? What we want, Mr. President, we are going to help you. No? We are going to help you. We are going to give you the necessary feedbacks po or whatever information po. So for you to be able to go after itong mga leaders natin, elected politicians natin po, if they are involved in this henky-penky corruption activities po. Ang mga government officials natin, top government officials natin po, we are going to supply you with the information. Walang problema yun po. Basta na lang po, when we give you the information, you also act accordingly. Saka itong, one more thing before I forget. Itong investigation po. I was made to understand that the House of Representatives, they already heard about itong directive ni President Bongbong Marcos to go after those involved in the anomalies of corruption cases, alleged corruption cases dyan po sa mga development projects natin sa Pilipinas. No? Now, I was made to understand that the Congress will be doing their own investigation. Mayroon silang Quadcom, Tricom, and all these things po. But don't you think, what for? For the Congress to do their own investigation. When in fact, ang actors involved sa investigation are their own colleagues. In the event, their own colleagues po, paano na po? Will there be bias or what? Or if the individual concerned is their colleague or very holding a very high position dyan po sa House of Representatives, paano na po ang Quadcom will act? Although I agree that conducting a probe or investigation po in aid of legislation po, maganda din yun po. No? But siguro mas maganda yun po, okay, let the Quadcom do their investigation of probe, ang House of Representatives, although duda ako dyan po, no? In aid of legislation. But let the private group do the investigation, file a complaint, request to the Department of Justice to conduct itong investigation po or probe sa mga projects na nakita natin po doubtful. And at the same time, meron din tayo pala investigation that being carried out by the side of the President. And then we will see po. Ang problema lang po, baka we are going to have 3 different results. And yan ang mahirap na, no? Mahirap na yun po. So yun lang po sa akin, no? Itong investigation. But anyway, we will monitor and we will see po how things will go on. Now that the President already openly said, officially said, my website na tayo, he will personally look into whatever message we're going to send to him po. And he will take action. He will take action. Let's see po. Hintayin na natin. Let's not jump into conclusion kasi bago lang kita po, nakumpisa. So, let's wait and see. Give them a chance po. We will see first. And then, if necessary, then we'll give our comments. Our comments. So, this time around, I would wish to share you ang interview ni Inday or Vice President Inday Sara Duterte.
Masaya ang tour natin ng Tribal Village dito sa Magsaysay Park sa Davao City. At masaya kong naulit yung pagbisita sa ating mga iba't ibang tribo kasama ang kanilang mga deputy mayors at kasama ang mga kapatid natin sa Indigenous Peoples Tribes at ating mga Moro tribes. Kaya this is a showcase of the traditional houses of the Indigenous Peoples Tribes and Muslim tribes of Davao City, and we shared it with our friends from the diplomatic community, particularly Malaysia and China.
Alright. Now let's accept questions. First, Mr. Arjun.
Ma'am, other topic lang po. Ma'am, now that dineclare na lang as unconstitutional or unconstitutional at in-archival na Senado po ang complaint, sa anong paraan na lang daw po ninyo ma-explain sa public itong alleged misuse of confidential funds?
Kung may kaso, sa tamang forum, mag-explain kami. Nagsabi kami noong nag-file sila ng articles of impeachment nila na ready ang defense team para sumagot sa accusations ng prosecutors ng House of Representatives. Noong umakyat sa Supreme Court, yung kaso, lahat ng hiningi na Supreme Court ay ibinigay namin. Doon sa mga tamang forum at sa tamang venue, nagbibigay kami ng saktong sagot at nagbibigay kami ng saktong sagot at nagbibigay kami ng explanation ng mga accusations. Pero hindi pwede na moro-moro na kung saan lang nagbibigay ng akusasyon at kung saan o kung kailan lang nila gusto mag-akusa ng tao.
Ma'am, one last po. Kay FBR, regarding po dun sa confirmation of charges, how is Atty. Kaufman handling the case?
I think it's best if you ask Attorney Kaufman. Pagkakaalam ko, nagbibigay naman siya ng mga media interviews at sumasagot naman siya sa mga questions. Hindi kasi ako pwedeng mag-explain para kay Attorney Kaufman sa kanyang mga preparations at mga ginagawa sa case ni former President Duterte sa ICC.
So yung trust and confidence mo, Atty. Kaufman, ano yung
Of course, yung choice ng client, no? Siya naman yung kliyente, sa kanila naman yung professional arrangements. So as long as nagsabi si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte na yan ang aking mga abogado, sasunod kami and mag-cooperate kami kung anong kailangan ng legal team.
Next, we have Sir Julius Paco, Tapagada.
Sorry. Ma'am, budget deliberation po, ma'am. Ano po na-explain po natin sa OPP na budget deliberation?
Yes, budget hearing. Well, it will be the same no, as last year. Hindi naman nagbago ang administration eh. Yan pa rin ang Pangulo natin, yan pa rin ang Speaker of the House of Representatives natin. So wala na tayong ma-expect na ibibigay para sa Office of the Vice President. So kung ano yung in-approve ng Department of Budget and Management, yun din yung sinubmit namin, yan din yung nilagay sa NEP. And of course, ang expectation natin is bababaan yan pagdating sa House of Representatives.
May na-reaction po sa amin nila sa habitual absence po sila.
Habitual absence saan? Hindi ko alam kung ano yung pinagsasabi nila na habitual absence. As I said, ito na naman yung style ng mga tao na anti-Duterte na nagbibigay lang ng akusasyon kung saan-saan at wala namang basihan, walang ebidensya at hindi nila na lang sinasubmit o itinataas sa tamang forum or sa tamang venue yung kanilang mga akusasyon. Alam nyo, ang akusasyon na walang basihan ay isang paninira lamang. Ganyan ang lagi nilang ginagawa.
Thank you, ma'am. We have one question from Ms. Ruth Palo, ma'am.
Ano po yung tulong ng OPP sa mga tribal, sa mga tribes? I think that this tribal village sila, may budget sila from the city government of Davao, ang mga tribal villages for upkeep, renovations and repair. Pero wala tayo may tulong bias yung like pag-devote sa taday, like para sa for the Office of the Vice President. Kung meron mang mag-apply, pwede kami magbigay. So as long as nandyan pa yung budget ng magnegosyo taday, kung meron sila small and medium na mga livelihood negosyo, ay pwedeng makabigay ang Office of the Vice President.
Thank you. Ma'am, we have Mamaya Edge. What is your take on the speaker himself in our time na kung saan wala na time na still bigyan mo ang consideration and representative still
Nagaon sa daw?
speaker na threatened ang Supreme Court na kung dili we will not take action sa MR kasi kamupot is ready to impeach. What's your take on that?
Well, I cannot comment, no, because I've not seen the speech. I've not seen the speech of, hindi naman ko nagatanaw sa ilang away. Kay irritating sila sa mataog sa dalungan. So, dili ko nagatanaw sa ilang. I've not seen it, but dito na lang ta sa kung unsay gisulti sa Supreme Court, no, it's abuse of authority. So, makita ninyo dito, gilatag og tarong kung giunsa nila pag-abuso ang ilahang power din sa House of Representatives.
Andy Marcos described the speaker as oil brother. And also the mayor, acting mayor. Manawagan yung mayor.
Siguro, wala po ko kadungog ana, ma'am. Inatag na matrigger ko sa iya, pero dili ko nagabasa na o kuan news. So, sa daw, ma'am.
Decision ng Supreme Court but still threatened pa niya ang Supreme Court na you will not take action sa motion for the MR.
Well, yes. As I said, siguro ang pinakamaayo na description ni Ana na dito sa decision sa Supreme Court na there was really abuse and there was karagaling show of power na mali.
Diba? We have Ma'am Ivy. Yes. Good afternoon.
City Council of Davao. It has to be a majority decision, and the City Council of Davao is the correct body to declare a persona non grata dire sa ato ang syudad, because they are representatives of the 3 districts of Davao City.
Yung last one, we have Ma'am G, nakasabi na ay
Well, on that note, dapat siguro si former President Lenny Robredo ang maghatag og comment kay siya man ang kumbaga sa iya directed ang comments ni person na nag-file o bail.
that's what, what's your favorite part sa Kaligawan? Message sa 11 times.
Ang favorite part na po sa Kadayawan Festival is Floral Float Parade and Hiyas sa Kadayawan and Floral Float Parade. Tungod mo God, ang mga hiyas, ang mga contestants sa hiyas sa Kadayawan, sila yun itong perfect example sa ilahan kultura o sa ilahan tribo. And of course, sa Floral Float Parade, nindot yun sa mata ang upuan, mga ulang. Kanina ang mga events, last week, kung sa pato event na mula, last week na muna event, kanto sa ato ang misa pasalamat, ang opening sa Kadayawan, and katong gathering nato sa ato ang mga councilors. And then this week, ang events for Kadayawan is kantong gathering for Mindanao councilors, sharing our Thanksgiving sa ato ang mga silingan din sa Davao City, ug nga kaning guided tour sa ato ang cultural village din sa Magsaysay Park.
Okay, yun po, narinig natin po si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. She was interviewed dyan po sa Davao City just recently, and iba-ibang mga topics po, no? Mga issues raised to her, and she reacted accordingly po. There's only one thing I just want to comment po, no? Regarding the interview, one issue lang po, one topic, and that is her foreign trips po, no? And yes, what is the duty of the Vice President? The sole responsibility. Yon talaga importante role ng Vice President. Okay, the role of the Vice President. Why we choose a Vice President po? Bakit hindi lang Presidente lang po? Dapat Vice President. Dahil po, ang Vice President serve as a reserve tire, no? Should anything happen to the President, at least agad-agad mayroon mag-take over po. Yun ang trabaho talaga ng Vice President. Any other things po that he or she will be doing, it is, for me, parang bonus na yun po, no? Kasi ang responsibility niya po is to stand by. Should anything happen to the President, then he or she must be ready to take over po, no? That is the main reason, logic behind we have our Vice President. But look at the Vice President po. Now, look at the Vice President. Now, Vice President Inday Sara Duterte is not only sitting pretty sa chair niya as the Vice President. In fact, yearly, weekly, monthly, yearly programs po, development programs, assistance extended to the Filipinos po. He has that scheduled programs po around the year po, no? So yun po. And when you talk about the Vice President going abroad, one of the reasons is, yes, we have to understand, because she has to visit her father, nasa The Hague ngayon, and facing court problems. And being the daughter, a lawyer, and the Vice President also concerned about the interest of every Filipino, which is the father is also a Filipino. then it's fine. It's fine. Unless the president will not agree or will say something about her scheduled trips, no? About her scheduled trips. And her visiting the Filipino communities abroad while having these trips, no? Then that is also good, no? Explaining to the Filipinos what is happening sa Pilipinas. Not necessarily saying all the good things in the Philippines. No? We have also to say the real facts, what is happening in the Philippines. Bad and good informations po sa mga Pilipinos po. Whether you like it or not, the Filipinos, we know. Masin kami dito po sa Malaysia, very near to the Philippines. We know. We know what is happening. No? But it will be very glad if the authority concerned, like the Vice President, will come and visit us and confirm, no? And listen to whatever ideas we have to help improve the country. Ganon lang yan po. Diba? Ganon lang yan po. So now, what we Filipinos in Malaysia, what we are shouting is that, sana po, totoo na itong pangako ni President Bongbong Marcos. Walang sabihin natin na no favoritism, pinsan ka, immediate family member ka, you're a close friend of mine ka, or you're rich, wealthy rich po, and we owe you personal favor, utang na loob, no? You have to take action against these people if they betrayed ang Filipinas po. Betrayed in a sense that they're involved in corruption activities resulting to the sufferings of the Filipinos. Filipinos sa baba, sa middle class, at sa itaas. Yun po. So siguro nga dito na lang ang programa natin for this particular day, Wednesday, August 13 po. And I hope, maski paano, I managed to entertain, give you whatever important news that you serve today po. And sana lang po, okay ang buhay ninyo. So with this, once again, Nico Fabian would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all. And I'll see you in my next episode. Bye!